Are you looking for a journey as a Resonator in a post-apocalyptic adventure? Welcome to the ultimate guide for beginners in Wuthering Waves. If you're excited about diving into this new open-world action anime RPG, you've come to the right place, my friends. So grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's jump right in. Wuthering Waves is developed by Kuro Games, the same studio behind Punishing Gray Raven. It takes place in a post-apocalyptic world with a unique monotone aesthetic. Players will take on the role of a character called a Resonator with the main protagonist named Rover. The game draws some comparisons to Genshin Impact, but it brings its own twists and freedoms to the combat system and overall gameplay as well. Let's start with the basics. Wuthering Waves is a gacha game, which means players will be collecting characters or Resonators and weapons through a special summoning system. There are currently 17 Resonators in the game, with 9 being 4-star rarity and 8 being 5-star rarity. As a free-to-play player, you'll start with Rover as your first 5-star Resonator, and you'll soon receive Yang Yang and Chisha as well. One of the great things about Wuthering Waves is that most Resonators are quite free-to-play friendly. Each character has their own unique playstyles and strengths, so players shouldn't worry too much about tier lists early on. Some Resonators might excel at open-world exploration, while others shine in combat situations. It's all about finding the characters that click with your playstyle. The game features 6 elements, including Aero, Electro, Fusion, Glacio, Havoc, and Spectro. Each Resonator is aligned with one of these elements, which plays into their skills and combat abilities. Additionally, there are 5 weapon classes: Broad Blades, Gauntlets, Pistols, Rectifiers, and Swords. This variety in elements and weapons allows for some exciting team compositions and combat strategies. Pretty interesting, right? Speaking of combat, Wuthering Waves has some really cool mechanics that set it apart from other games in the genre. Players can have 3 Resonators in their party at once, and they'll be switching between them during fights. One of the key features is the switch or chain attack system. Gamers should keep an eye on their party member icons on the right side of the screen. When one starts glowing, they can perform an outro skill, which is essentially a powerful chain attack. The combat system also includes an extreme evasion mechanic. This is similar to perfect dodges in other action games. If players time their dodge just right before an enemy's heavy attack, they'll become invincible for a moment. It takes some practice, but it's incredibly satisfying when pulled off. Players can even counter some heavy attacks, which adds another layer of depth to the combat. Another unique aspect of Wuthering Waves is the ecosystem feature. Instead of summoning a companion to fight alongside you, players can actually transform into creatures called Echo. It's a bit like the Omnitrix from Ben 10 if you're familiar with that. Echoes have a chance to drop when defeating enemies in the open world, and they play a crucial role in character development. Echoes not only provide more combat options, but also contribute to a Resonator's stats, including HP, defense, energy regeneration, critical damage, and critical rate. There are 9 different Echo sets in the game, each with its own unique bonuses. Collecting and leveling up Echoes is a key part of powering up characters, so players shouldn't neglect this aspect of the game. As players progress through Wuthering Waves, they'll want to focus on improving their Data-Dock rank. This is essentially the Echo collection level, and it determines how many Echoes can be used at once and what rarity of Echoes can be equipped. It also affects stamina, which, while not impacting running speed, does play a role in combat-related activities. In addition to the ecosystem, players will also be leveling up their Resonators' skills through the Forte tab. Think of this as a skill tree where various abilities can be improved up to level 10. Characters can also be ascended to further boost their stats, and if players are lucky enough to get duplicates, they can improve sequence nodes for even more power also. Now let's talk about the Gacha System, which is how players will obtain new Resonators and high-rarity weapons. The main currency for summoning is called Asteria. It takes 160 Asteria for a single summon, which is called a Tide in Wuthering Waves. There are 3 types of tides: lustrous tides for the standard banner, radiant tides for the limited banner, and Forging Tides for the weapon banner. One of the great things about Wuthering Waves' Gacha system is its relatively low pity count. Players are guaranteed a 5-star with an 80 pulls, which is more generous than some other gacha games. Even better, the weapon banner guarantees the featured weapon when a 5-star is pulled, eliminating the dreaded 50-50 chance that plagues some other games also. For new players, there's a novice banner that offers discounted 10 pulls, which only costs 8 lustrous tides and guarantees a 5-star resonator within the first 50 pulls. This is a great way to kickstart a roster with a powerful character. As players progress through the game, they'll accumulate 2 types of currencies from summoning: Afterglow and Oscillate Curls. Oscillate Curls can be used monthly to buy more summon tides, while Afterglow can be saved up to purchase wave bands, which are used to upgrade Resonators' sequences. The game even has a neat feature where characters will automatically flip over ledges if their head gets stuck, making traversal smoother and more enjoyable. The combat system in Wuthering Waves is quite dynamic. Players can perform aerial attacks, use a grappling hook, and execute powerful resonance liberations, which are the game's version of ultimate abilities. What's interesting is that each resonator has their own unique resonance liberation and skills, which adds to a lot of variety to the gameplay. As players explore the world of Wuthering Waves, they should make sure to collect all the waypoints they come across. This will make fast travel much easier later on. Also, it's important not to forget to gather herbs, plants, flowers, minerals, and ores while exploring. These resources will be crucial for crafting weapons, making medical supplies, and cooking food that will temporarily boost stats. And now let's get into some tips. Remember, Wuthering Waves isn't a race. It's important for players to pace themselves and enjoy the journey while they're at it. There's no need to feel pressure to reach the end game as quickly as possible or to compete with other players. Everyone has different amounts of time they can dedicate to the game, and burning out is no fun for anyone. Lastly, it's worth remembering that Wuthering Waves, like any gacha game, is designed to be a long-term experience. It's okay to take your time, save resources, and make careful decisions about how to progress an account. The game will continue to evolve with new content, characters, and events, so there's no need to rush. So, Resonators, are you ready to dive into this post-apocalyptic world? Your adventure in Wuthering Waves awaits you. Good luck, and may the echoes be with you. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on the latest in the gaming world.